There we go. Let's see. Yes, and we are live. Hello, Dr. Dorothy. How are
Hello,
you?
Alan.
Good. Well, let me tell you, it's great going live with you. And for anybody who's listening right now, please don't shut off because I have Dr. Dorothy here, and your website is Ask Dr. Dorothy?
AskDrDorothy.com.
Yes. Okay. But what our subject line is here is all about Dr. Dorothy, which is you hold my heart while you kick my ass. Okay. That is what we're talking about because Dr. Dorothy has a way with her history and everything that she's done to be able to help people grow. And she's running a course that I'd love for you to talk about if you wouldn't mind. And I say there's two things involved with it, which is two T's. One, transition, and the second is thrive. So why don't you tell everybody what it is that this course that you'll be running here starting on March 30th?
What I've got going is a women's group for women in transition. It is starting on the 30th of March. And what we're doing there is bringing a small group of women together. I never have more than 10 because there's a lot of personal work I do each week with everybody. The group becomes a cohesive group. So folks start helping each other as well because we're all pretty much the same in this one. We are all just going to the next level.
Right.
And what it does is we meet every 2 weeks, Thursday morning from 8 to 9:30. And we come together so that you can then head off and go to your work day or whatever it is you go off to at 9:30 in the morning. And we come together to support the women who are in the group going to the next level in their leadership, going to the next level in whatever it is they're doing. Because the fact is, we are all born to be leaders.
Right.
I'm speaking to a group of 500 women tomorrow at the AquaTurf Club, and this really is all about we are all born to become leaders, whether it's leaders of our own lives, leaders of our own business, or leaders within an organization. We are all born to be leaders, and that means I have to be clear about who I am, where I'm going, what I hope to accomplish, and how I intend to get there.
Right.
And because we're all human, we have an amazing ability to get in our own way. We have an amazing ability to get caught up in the stories we tell ourselves. And those stories we tell ourselves are amazing saboteurs. So one of my gifts is to help you identify the stories you're telling yourself that are not universal truths. They are pieces that show up that allow you to feel inadequate, inept, incapable, and so on and so forth. And that holding your heart is that I truly love my folks unconditionally. I am there for them in every way I possibly can be, to the extent that they allow me.
Right.
Which is where kicking your ass comes in that when you are stuck, I may lovingly hold your hand, but I'm not going to play along with your illusions of victimization, your illusions of powerlessness, or your illusions of confusion, because confusion is a tool that many powerful women use, because if I'm confused, it gives me permission to stay stuck.
Right.
If I am unconfused, I have clarity and I know where I want to go, I have to own the fact that I'm not moving because I'm frightened of doing so. And that's where I come in to support you completely, to help you go forward, whatever that is. Some of the women in my group right now, one woman was a project manager in corporate. She retired at 58, has now opened up Airbnbs. She has Airbnbs, rental property she had. She's now got Airbnbs. We've helped her about 3 months ago. This group has been going, gave her some ideas, people to contact, and she's now booked through the end of July.
Yeah.
And, consistently every weekend through the end of July. And she's now looking at opening up a restaurant.
Yes, so I'm just going to interrupt you. So all the tools that you're giving all the people in your group,
Right.
They also are supporting each other.
They support each other. That's the gift of a group, is that folks come in and support each other. And I was about to say that she wants to buy a restaurant in her town that was a breakfast lunch.
Oh.
So happens one of the other women in our group years ago owned a restaurant that was breakfast and lunch.
Wow.
So here they are. She can share contacts. This is an expert you should talk to. This is somebody you should speak to about cooking. This one here about business management in a restaurant, because it's different than any other business.
Sure.
And so they get to feed each other. And one of them wrote me a letter this morning saying, what I've recognized is I always thought I was different. Being in this group showed me that we are all alike in so many ways, uniquely different, but so alike that I feel so much better about who I am because of a result of this group. And these are powerful, successful women who have achieved a great deal, but they're ready to expand their energetic footprint.
So with these, so this is so it's starting in 15 days, March 30th.
Right. Yeah.
It's coming. But basically they've all had changes in their life. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. Every one of them for a different reason. For a different reason, they're in transition. Some are looking at divorce and they want to expand their business now. They can go, or one works for another organization, a government organization. And she's now, because she's changed her mindset, rather than thinking really small, she's now thinking like this. She now is going to have a national position. So everything is changing for her. Right. Some others coming out of a relationship, and you've been so busy playing roles in the past that letting go of your past, when people oftentimes are in transition, whether it's work or a group they belong to or a relationship, they focus on what they are losing. And frequently what you were letting go of is the dream you had 20 years ago.
Right.
What you're letting go of is not what's happening today.
Right.
And that, what about if today you created a dream for the woman you're becoming, so that in 10, 20 years, there's another woman who's present in your life because you've grown into so much more of who you are and who you're called to become. So it really is letting go of the past. Grieve it if you need, but let go of the past and move forward, because that past was created by that woman 10, 20, 30 years ago. Create a new future.
So you, because I just want to be clear, because you do have another practice, and you actually counsel people of all ages and all sexes. But this particular group is all women. Is that right?
This particular group is for all women because women transition differently than men do. All right. And my private clients, as a business coach, I have private clients who are male, and then some who are females.
Right.
Because that's private. We can deal with them as it is, because men deal with life differently. They have different belief systems, different expectations, and they respond or react differently. And so when it comes to private, it's great to do one-on-one, obviously, like that. But in this group, because women respond to transition in similar ways,
right,
it's best to bring that in. The male energy would shift and change it dramatically.
Right.
And I wouldn't be able to serve any of them as well as I can with just having women in this group. Yeah.
That's great. So for this group, how would they find out more about it? I could put the link in here, but I'm not sure if I have the link. I'm going to try to see if I can put a link in here.
My email address is Dorothy.
Okay, 1 minute.
Go right ahead then.
Let me just see. Oh, no, I don't think it copied it.
Technology being what it is.
No, it didn't work. Okay. It didn't work. I thought I was a real smarty pants, but I wasn't a smarty pants, because what I was trying to do is to get your whole information about this, the URL for it, but I wasn't able to do it. Okay, give me your email address if you wouldn't mind.
Dorothy, DOROTHY, at askdrdorothy.com. Dorothy at askdrdorothy.com.
Perfect. Okay, so I put that both on our Facebook and also on our YouTube. Now, for any reason that somebody on YouTube is watching this later, okay, 15 days has come and 15 days has gone. But the cool thing is you're not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. God willing, I'll be here for a whole lot of years to go.
Right. Yeah. And so they can easily reach out to you through your email address. No problem. Now, do you want to give any back history of who you are to our viewers, or you want to say that
Oh,
another time?
goodness, a very quick one, because that's a long story. I've been here more than 5 years.
That's why I'm not giving mine.
Yeah, I'm a Southie girl. I'm a girl from South Boston. But yeah, I've had, well, this is why I've transitioned is my expertise. You know, I grew up in an orphanage and then I was adopted, raised in the housing projects in Southie and South Boston. My way out was to become a Catholic nun. I was a Catholic nun for a number of years, left religious life, moved to Manhattan, became an international airline stewardess, and traveled the world, traveled over 1 million miles, and then settled here in Connecticut, got married, settled, had 2 exquisite kids, and have raised them. And in the process, I was divorced after 15 years when they were little ones, kindergarten and 4th grade. And I have founded 5 businesses at this point. And so one of my businesses had almost 63 positions on my payroll. Wow. So, and my full timers got medical, dental, 401k match. And so we've done many things. I've taught in grad school. I was a clinical instructor at UConn Medical.
Wow.
I'm a pioneer in the field of integrated healthcare here in the United States. So much of the work I do is in calling people to come alive, because when you are vibrant and alive and happy, doing what you know you've come here to do, that ease in your body supports physical health.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
when we are not happy, when we are depressed, when we are in the illusions of victimization and powerlessness, we end up becoming physically ill. And that depends upon your particular body. We all have different vulnerabilities physically. And so for me, supporting my people, my clients, whether it's private clients or in group, supporting them really coming into their own, coming into who they're really meant to be at each stage, because we're continuously changing. It supports their spiritual health, their emotional health, and their physical health.
Right.
And that's what happens when you know you're where you're supposed to be. When you're in the illusion of struggle, in the illusion of victimization or battle, you end up with so much stress in your body. It's that fight or flight. The immune system gets weakened. When the immune system is weakened, you know, it's because the adrenals is the fight and flight is the adrenals. The adrenals get drained. The immune system feeds the adrenals and becomes weak, and there you go. So it's a cycle of, why not just be happy and do what you came here to do?
Right.
Because you're going to have your health, you're going to live a whole lot longer, and really enjoy the trip.
Right. Exactly.
You know, this
exactly.
is struggle. It's meant to be a gift.
Well, and one other thing too, well, you didn't mention books. You've written books?
I've written 8 books. Yeah, there's too much to mention. I've written 8 books. You know, my last book.
You're just so qualified.
Oh, yeah.
And I really think it's so important that everybody who's listening, whether you're listening now or you're listening, you know, in a couple months or in a year, because, you know, Metaphysics Facebook or YouTube, this is, you know, stays on forever.
Yeah.
So
you just made me think.
Realtors not changing either. But neither is Dr. Dorothy. And it's not because I grew up in Lexington, Mass. So it's that Boston thing that
where you get that solid
girls going.
that solid women's piece going.
That's right.
You made me think of my last book in relationship to this group. It's this book right here. Real Women Change the World, Letting the Good Girl Die so the real women can live.
Right.
Now, you and I have somehow conquered that. So the good girl has taken a long vacation, and the real woman is alive and kicking. And that really is about what this group is about. It is calling us to be real, to really live your life fully. I certainly am compassionate. I work, I support to this day. I do give back. I think we're all called to do that.
Yeah, we are.
But the thing is, when you can do it because it feeds your heart rather than because you're supposed to,
right,
that makes it a burden and resentment comes. When you can do it to the extent that you're giving it lovingly, and then you stop when you know you need to take a break, stay home and have a glass of wine, put your feet up and do nothing, then you have a balance of giving and getting and feeding yourself, filling yourself up again.
That's right.
You know, there's a balance that's always necessary if we're going to be healthy.
Yeah, that's nicely said. I mean, it's giving is so important, but I mean, this whole class that you're offering is just amazing. I know
Yeah.
you have clients out in LA. You work with some high-end people out there
Right.
too. I mean, you do quite a lot. So I think anybody who would have the opportunity either to attend one of your classes or to attend this program, it just if you're looking for
Right.
changes in your life from, as you'd said, divorce, death, it's just
Whatever. Yeah, whatever it is. I love it,
there's
and
so many.
yeah.
And as women, we go through a lot. We carry a
We
lot
go
of
through a lot of changes. Yeah, yeah. Isn't it amazing? And we put too much on our shoulders.
yeah,
That's where the good girl comes in, where I can take it. I can take it. Just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should.
correct.
Right? Big difference
And
there.
that's the learning.
Yeah, that's the learning.
That's the learning.
I can pull a house behind me, but I don't necessarily have the obligation to do so.
Right.
Unless guilt really works for me, and that's a manipulative tool.
Right, right.
Um,
Well, this has been great. Is there anything else that you want to? So, if anybody who has been listening in, one, thank you very much. But you can see what I've called this, which is actually one of Dr. Dorothy's quotes, which is, "You hold my heart while you kick my ass," and that's what she does. She really holds your heart, but
Yeah,
she's keeping you moving, and
right.
which is taking care of you, and so remember, we need to invest in ourselves. If we don't invest in
Yes,
ourselves, we spend a lot of time investing in others, matter if it's our parents or our kids, or even neighbors or something. We have to
right.
take care of ourselves. And
We do. Give from your fullness. Give from when you've got an abundance. When you give from depletion, you become physically and emotionally ill.
right,
So learn how to fill yourself. And that's really the purpose of this program, is to support people learning how to fill themselves while they prepare to go to the next level of their own journey. What's the next step for them? Where
right,
can they go? And who do they want to become?
right. Well, that's
Really
perfect.
important in that just to use a business reference, and it doesn't have to be business. If I'm a solopreneur, this is who I am. If I want to have 10 employees, I best grow and develop and become somebody who's capable of managing 10 employees.
Right,
And a solopreneur can't do that. So what are the skills you have to develop? Who do you have to become? And it isn't just technical. Who do you have to become to have the power and
right,
the presence
right.
that's capable of managing 10 people who work for you? That's a very different skill set.
That's
You
right.
have to be ready. And you have to stand a little taller. So
That's
you need to be ready to do
Here we go, girls.
that.
All right, well, thank you so much
You're so
for
welcome.
coming on here today. I mean, this has been great, Dr. Dorothy Neville
Yeah.
Martin. See, I was thinking of another doctor. Good God, there's a few out there.
We've got doctors everywhere.
I know. But thank you so much.
You're
And
so welcome.
again, everybody knows if you do need to just have a question, she's more than willing to speak to you. And so
More than willing. Truly, I'm here to serve. Yeah.
yeah, and you're in the comments section here, you will see that it says Dorothy at ask Dr. Dorothy.com is the best way of reaching her. So
All righty. Thank
good.
you so very much, Jen. It's
Yeah.
really been
Well,
great.
thank you. I appreciate it. And you have a good weekend. Take
Yeah,
care.
you too.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.